Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
We can't hear you, Ollie. We can't hear you.
Oh, welcome to the show. It's okay. That was the worst intro I'd ever made, but I didn't realize that
it looked good.
Shall I do it again?
Yeah, why not?
Good evening, folks. Welcome.
No.
to Alien.
No.
You drop you back down.
I want the noise.
Which noise?
The Tranquility Base here.
Start over.
Yeah.
Houston, Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Good evening, folks. This show is called We Are All Made of Stars. And I was just saying before my mic decided to be on mute, that my guests have no idea what I'm going to be talking about tonight because I didn't pre-warn them. I just put the show's name up. And yeah, but without further ado, Lee.
Hi. How you doing?
How you doing, mate?
I'm good. It's a good job we hadn't done this before.
I know. It's like Groundhog Day. I love that film.
Hey.
I'm rich.
I was able to read your lips when you were doing that. I saw you say GUFON.
You can still hear though. You can hear the clap.
There was a clap.
Yeah.
But it's good. Everybody does that. I can't tell you how many times I've done that. I had the best intro ever and nobody heard it. It's the worst.
I wish I could lip read because there's that many times, somebody will say something to me as I'm walking off, and I just have no idea what they're talking about. Lee, I'm going to shift you.
I can't lip read, but I could have a guess at what they're saying to you. My friend Susie can lip read. It's great fun in the pub.
It's a talent. But some people need it because some people don't have ears.
They don't have ears.
They may be deaf, or they may not have ears. They may have been born with no ears. I'm going to get in so much trouble. This is if you've got no ears. It's fine.
I don't know anybody with no ears.
But if you can't, what if you're like me and you're dyslexic, and you have no ears, so you can't really read that well.
Go smell them. Makes all your other senses stronger.
The smell of communication. That's got a good ring to it. Like.
Sounds like a terrible phone advert, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah, I don't know.
But is there any good? Not these days. There's no good phone adverts. But
So,
boys, yeah, the title of tonight's show is "We Are All Made of Stars," because I find that interesting. The fact that people have been saying for quite a long time now, and this is factual, that we are stardust.
Rogue One.
Yeah, stardust people. We're made from stars.
All the same stuff. Everything's made from the same stuff.
Yeah. That also means we're poo people as well.
We're poo
and
people.
apricot people.
But do you think there's more to it than that? Because when people say that I like your background, by the way, Lee. I'm sure. I'm sure Osvaldo will love that. Yeah, Oz. I had no idea until Lee came onto the show. I nearly had a heart attack. I couldn't speak for about 5 minutes. But it looks nice. I'm sure he will appreciate that. After the last show, where Lee and Oz basically became the best of friends. Friends for life, I think.
Friends till the end, just like Child's Play.
Do you think that, because I've done a little bit of, I say a little bit because I don't usually do a lot of research, but I've watched a few videos about people like TED Talks and that, and people talking about the fact that we are literally stardust, and they make it sound as if, especially like Professor Cox and deGrasse Tyson, they make it sound like it is just literally chance. You know, it's a magical chance, but from this stardust created literally human life. I struggle to comprehend that in my little tiny walnut brain, that's all we are, that we have literally, we've come from the universe, but it's almost like magic though.
Why do we still have monkeys if we are the dominant species? Why didn't we get rid of them? Because we have evolved enough to know that they're smart too, and they kind of look like us in a way, and we have 97% of their DNA. 97 of chimpanzees.
That's close.
That's darn close. That's why we used to use them to test vaccines and stuff.
But that fucking 3% appears to be pretty fucking important.
It's the top three.
So, are you saying why are chimpanzees still here?
Yes, because we always conquer, devour, and destroy anything that's lesser than what we are. But I think we have evolved to a point that we realize we don't have to destroy everything to be the best.
Why have chimpanzees not evolved to our standard?
Well, we've only seen them for a little bit, in a blink of, not even a blink of an eye. Just that humans and apes, we didn't even know they were out there until, just recently. A couple hundred years ago.
Yeah, when you look at, you'll see the skulls and the early man, the Neanderthals, and all these the different groups that went different ways. But we are still all made of the same stuff. All these creatures on Earth, everything is the same stuff, little atoms and what have you. But it just seems like magic to me.
It is.
It really does. No, actual magic. Lee said it on the last show. Actual magic, and scientists are just trying to figure it all out. But in reality, it is almost like magic. I saw Brian Cox on Joe Rogan, and they said Joe Reagan then, and he said if you think about it, it is almost like magic.
I've been saying it for years.
I found out this week.
Crazy.
I thought this was interesting, and I wanted to look into it more, and I didn't do it, but here it is. I'll say what I think it is, and then if I'm wrong, I'm fucking wrong, and someone correct me in the chat. A kilogram. In France, there is a piece of lead, which is like the first kilogram. It's what we use to base kilograms off. Yeah? That kilogram is now, I believe, 0.3 of a gram heavier than it was before. And we've no idea why. It's changed weight. And one of the theories of it is that we look at gravity as a constant, and gravity isn't a constant, and we have a denser gravity now than we had in the past. But if you look at something as fundamental as that we could have some basis wrong in, that it immediately throws so many things out, doesn't it?
So a kilogram
is slightly heavier than it used to be.
But who makes that rule up? A kilogram's a kilogram.
Yeah, but there is in France. There is what they use for the original measurement. They've got it locked up somewhere, like the Budweiser, the Budweiser recipe. That initial kilogram is now slightly heavier than a kilogram.
Or they didn't have the same measuring tools like we have now.
Maybe that's not what they seem to be suggesting. They
Yeah, I
seem to be
know.
suggesting it's
Can't it
heavier.
just be a conspiracy, though?
No, I mean this isn't coming from like conspiracy theorists. This is coming from the people that have got the thing saying we're not really
okay.
sure. Yeah,
I
we're
don't
not
know.
really
I never
sure
heard
why.
that before.
Yeah. I only heard it the other day, like literally 2 days ago, and because it was a thing I was watching about dinosaurs and the idea that this guy was saying, well, maybe this was why we could have such large prehistoric creatures like dinosaurs, because gravity wasn't quite as dense as it is now. I'm probably using the wrong word. Density for gravity is probably the wrong word, but it's for the sake of my fucking monkey brain, that's where we are. But then what I was thinking was, to bring it around to this channel, if gravity's going to slowly get like heavier and heavier and heavier, and things get smaller and smaller and smaller as this goes, yeah. So we've had like the big dinosaurs and stories in the past of giants and things like that. Could that be what helps the evolution of turning human beings into what we see of greys?
Time travel.
Well,
no, the moon is constantly going away from us too. So I think maybe it has something to do with the moon's gravity not having such an impact.
But wouldn't that make less? Wouldn't that, if that was going away? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how
right.
that. Yeah, I don't know how that would have like a positive.
Or it's a shift. Maybe there's gravity waves.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
But we're all made of the same dust
Oh yeah.
originally. But, well, I just saw something today, and it's not new, but how that, what is the place in Star Wars? Close Encounters of the Third Kind. What was that place they went to?
Oh, the Devil's
Tower?
Yeah.
Well, they're saying that could have been a tree because of the hexagonal things along the side of it. Trees make that, not lava. But anyway, trees could have been enormous back then. I mean, dinosaurs were here, so why couldn't we have trees that tall? It makes sense.
Yeah.
I know we're getting into an off-side topic, but
No. If it was a tree, though, surely that they could
was.
prove that it was a tree.
they did. But science isn't accepting what people are showing. I have it somewhere.
If you dug into it, you
don't have to.
I think this all started with a documentary that came on YouTube. I think it was German. I can't remember right. And I think the documentary is called "There Are No Forests on Flat Earth," is what it's called, and that's about all these like supposedly petrified trees that have turned into mountains over the years. I'm not fucking sure I buy that, if I'm perfectly honest.
If Flat Earth is in the title.
Well, that's the odd thing, is it hasn't really got anything to do with Flat Earth. It's just to do with with these things, yeah. And the woman that narrates it is absolutely abysmal at her job. But it's if you're having a couple of drinks, it's an hour of your life that you could spend probably getting sucked up in a rabbit hole.
With the Devil's Tower, the reason it's a tree because there are, and some people are saying it's it's petrified tree or what? What else would they say it was? A tree or a mountain or rock? Or I think they were saying it was old lava. But lava turns into little clumps. I have it right here if you guys want to take a look at this.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me pull it up. Oh, yeah, let me just get it to it's a 1 minute thing, 57 seconds, Ollie. Should be okay to play.
Is it safe to play? Is it going to get me a...
No, I've played this before. I wouldn't do that to you.
Bang it up.
Yeah.
I'll send me the link as well, put it in the description for anything.
Oh, wait, you want me to do that? Let me get the link. 5, 4. All right. I'm ready to play it, so let me send it over to you with the share. Gush. And I'll put the link in the thing. Here we go.
Mountains look like giant petrified tree stumps? Well, maybe they are. Now here's an example of a regular petrified tree stump. So the word petrified means fossilized. So over the course of many, many years, a dead tree will fossilize and turn to stone. This mountain right here is known as the Devil's Tower, located in Wyoming. It oddly looks like a giant tree stump. Now according to mainstream science, the Devil's Tower was formed by magma or lava. However, that theory does not make any sense, because lava does not form perfect hexagonal shapes. Now according to this right here is an image of a close-up of the Devil's Tower. This is what lava looks like when it turns to stone. Now the one thing we know about trees is trees create hexagonal cell walls, just like this. So maybe this mountain and many others found are actually not mountains, but giant petrified tree stumps. And maybe that's why creatures on Earth used to be so big, because of the amount of oxygen that these ginormous trees gave off. It would also explain why pre-flood people lived 800 years or more in the Bible.
That's crazy, right? People used to live so long. It's pretty wild, right? Doesn't that tell you that that's a tree?
Yeah, when you look at that, even though as crazy as it sounds to call that a tree, it looks like a tree.
100%. And I think it's been proven. But it's so big that they want to hide this from us. They don't want us to know what used to be here. Same with giants. And
the Nephilim.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, I mean,
still that 12-inch. Was it a 12-inch mummified finger that was found?
I'm glad you said finger.
Yeah, me too. But I think that was faked.
Was it faked? Was it?
Yeah.
I wasn't sure whether it'd been tested or not.
Oh, I know what finger you're talking about. It's a popular finger. Yeah, that one, I don't know if it's faked. That looked real to me.
Yeah, and that, what, 12 inches would have come off someone that was about 16 foot tall.
I watched it.
Go ahead, Ollie.
No. It's actually not that. It's not that. I'm just going to say I watched Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom with my oldest boy yesterday. And at the beginning, there's a statue, and it's got real big fingers. When I was a child, I thought there was penises that was on a necklace. You know, like the chain of ears in what's that film with the chain of ears with Jean-Claude Van Damme and Vine?
Did you think the ears were clitorises?
I don't know what I thought they were, but yeah, this giant finger. Why have we not got more? Because you see these pictures
because they get in the way of doing things.
No, but you know when you see these
perfect.
What?
No, but you see these pictures on the internet, and it's always got some dude that's digging next to it that doesn't quite look part of the picture.
Yeah,
There's
they're
a giant
all
skeleton.
fake. All of them are terrible Photoshops done in like 1996.
I've never seen one that I've been convinced by and seen a giant skeleton of a man or woman.
I mean, if I was a conspiracy theorist, which I mean, realistically, being on a alien YouTube channel, you would be forgiven for thinking this. But if I was a conspiracy theorist, I would think that it's very strange that there's so many obvious fake giant photographs on the internet when it's so easy to make good Photoshop stuff.
Yeah. Because they're probably real, not Photoshopped.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever think of that?
Or they're totally fake, and any real pictures of that sort of stuff get snaffled away quickly.
I think that's it.
What,
and I think
they've got rid of the evidence.
Yeah. I do believe there were intelligent giants here, man. There's a story back in Afghanistan, and I think they were fighting a giant, like a 15-foot giant.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah.
Dude, that's crazy talk. And then when Mount St. Helens erupted, I don't know if you guys were alive in 1980, but they actually saw big dead Bigfoot and live Bigfoot. Apparently these stories are being, hidden. Then they started helping the Bigfoot, saving them under trees, and we were working together with the Bigfoot.
I remember. I know. I've brought this up on a couple of times on the show, but it's kind of poignant, I suppose. In the good old days of YouTube, when it was all a bit Wild West, and like people didn't get in trouble for things, I remember watching a video and like a load of times because I was fascinated by it. And it was a little bit like if you can imagine what the video would have been to the Rendlesham Forest audio with these people going through the forest.
Cool.
And there was a light at the end of it, which was similar to what it looked like in New York, you know, in the electric, like, was it
the power thing going off
power
and the
thing,
blue,
yeah, when-
the blue filled the
Yeah,
sky.
yeah.
Yeah.
very similar to that, but was in the middle of a forest.
Mhm.
And the story that came out with this video was that there was a small village that was there. Then in the middle of the night, there was this crazy light going off, and the whole village disappeared. Now, I've never been able to find that piece of that video ever again, and I know I watched it. And it's, you know, it's easy to say things like that, but I can see it in my head, because I remember the guy who was sort of stood like on an embankment looking down at these blue flashes, and then the video ends. But it was odd. It's odd that I just can't find it anymore.
This is the technology I'm talking about that needs to come out to convince me we've made super advances, taking our thoughts and putting it on a screen.
Mm. Yes.
That's got to happen in my lifetime. But in 20 years, by the time I'm dead, that's not going to happen.
It's almost kind of happening. You know,
wait,
the
whoa.
first steps of that.
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Are what well, I say it's kind of happening. We've got to type it in at the moment, but you know, the algorithm knows what things you're searching for. I don't know if you. I mean,
No, I'm talking about pictures, though.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I know what you're saying, but I think it's getting cleverer and cleverer. But it is gonna. When you mention our friend Mr. Musk with Neuralink, you know, it's game over then. You know, no matter what you dream up that you want to buy, you're going to get advertisements for that.
Right.
You know, if you want to get, and it, you know, I'm thinking about getting an electric car. What should I get? It's going to be a Tesla, isn't it?
It's going to be,
it's going to come away. He's a very clever man, is Mr. Musk. I mean, I knew we were going to go all over here. It started off with Stardust, but this is Stardust because we're talking about human beings and we're all made at Stardust. There you go. That's the link there.
It's all connected.
But I mean, you've seen recently the robot that he's talking about making. He's very serious about making this robot. But for years, he's been warning us about AI. But now he's making a robot and he's also doing Neuralink. It just seems I think I actually saw him in an interview saying, well, you know, we've got to side with it. We've got to merge with it before it's too late. So we've almost like we have to become a part of AI or it will destroy us.
Yep. That's incredible. Holy crap.
He said that. That is what Elon
said.
Yeah.
He said that. What do you think, Lee?
I think if I was trying to sell something to somebody, it's okay. I was just replying to one in the comments. I think if I was trying to sell something to somebody, that's a really good pitch to try and sell it to them.
What, that it's dangerous?
No, the fact that you say, yeah, well, you've got to do this because we're going to have to do it to keep up with people. You can buy one for $5.99.
So he's planned it all along.
I mean, let's be honest, because I flip flop so much on Elon Musk, and I want him to be the fucking savior of humanity that he's kind of billed as. But let's be honest, outside of PayPal, which he made a load of money on, which has allowed him to kickstart all these crazy things that he's doing. What's actually come to market that you can do apart from a car which was already in the planning stages because he bought Tesla? He didn't start the car company, he bought that company up. So what else has Mr. Musk brought forward? There's been loads of crazy ideas. I mean, remember the Hyperloop idea? I'm not sure when there's any Hyperloop opening up. the tiles that were supposed to be like we could all just put solar tiles on our roofs, which sounds like a fucking fantastic idea and very doable, but you can't go and buy a load of Tesla tiles for your roofs. So, yeah, what apart from being like pushed in the media as being Tony Stark, what's he given?
SpaceX.
Cars
Yeah,
that
but-
drive themselves.
Do you think that would have happened anyway? Do you
Yeah.
think that would have? Yeah, I think Google could have cut that. I mean,
But he's got the best software
Yeah.
when it comes to these self-driving cars. So it's not just a part. It's not just these cars self-drive. These cars are the best electric cars going. These cars actually have the best software in the world.
Yeah, but is it enough? Is that enough to give him the reputation of the man that's going to change the world?
Nothing's changed.
Exactly.
None of this stuff is. The only thing that's changed the world is the internet. That's the last thing, in my opinion. I don't know anything else that changed the world, because that did.
Yeah.
No,
Totally,
we've already
yeah.
had, right? I mean, we've already had TV, we've had music, we had the iPod. Now they just put the phone and all the apps with it. So we have a computer in our hand, but that didn't change the world. It altered it, but it just made people talk to each other all over the world. That's it.
It was a the smartphone was a technology laid on top of the internet. That worked well with it. Yeah, that's the thing. It's we had instant communication in our homes with the internet, but phones allow us to have instant communication everywhere, which is kind of what I think fucked everything, if we're honest.
Yeah. Do you know something? I said this today. I said, I wish I could go back to the 1980s, no, 1990s, because then at least I was old enough to have sex and have a good time. But just stay in that era, where things are just kind of, you can do a little bit. If you want, you can go and you dial up. And
oh my God, that was so frustrating.
It was, but life was
cool.
more fun.
It really was.
Because you'd go out, you'd see people. I think that you'd see kids just messing about and smashing shit and just playing football in the street or
creating
soccer, whatever you call it. Yeah, just creating stuff. I said to a good friend of mine today, I've lost the ability to pick up a pen now. I used to draw.
Oh my God, that's right.
And it's becoming like I think in the next 30 years, when people say, "Oh, what we used to draw things or write things on a pen with a pen," I'm like, what's a pen?
Right.
A pen might be a really niche thing to get, or a paintbrush, because people are like, "Sorry, Lee," but it will be a robot that's doing the decorating.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
We're always going to need pens.
I wonder whether when I look at my son and think, will he have to drive?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Well, those self-driving cars aren't perfect yet.
No, but he's 4, so.
All right, so 14, 13 years.
Yeah.
It's only
your driving lesson will be an IT course. Can you use a computer?
Yeah.
Right.
How to safety safety checks. Yeah.
You won't even have to go there. You can do it from home.
Did we talk about Musks Robots that he's gonna debut next year? Last week.
Yeah.
That's how we started the conversation.
Yeah. No. Did we talk about them last week?
No.
Oh.
A little bit we did. Yeah, we did.
Did we?
A little
Did
bit.
we?
Yeah.
It wasn't deep
Huge.
though.
But I can't remember whether I mentioned, whether that he's they've baked in a thing where it can only go 5 miles an hour because it's slightly slower than what the average person can run at.
Yeah, and it also can only lift a certain amount of weight, so you can outpower it as well.
Absolutely not. Have a look at it. Absolutely not. It can fucking press like a champ.
Really? Yeah, but we've just literally got concept art at the minute. There's no.
They've given figures of what it should be able to do, and I wouldn't want it to rubbed
You've
me
seen
off.
Boston Dynamics robots, though, haven't you?
Yes, I have.
They are motherfuckers. They are strong. They do backflips and all sorts of stuff.
So
you don't
cool.
want to mess with one of those.
Isn't it crazy though? And I think it might be just be a like sort of cognitive dissonance sort of thing when you watch it and you go, right, this can't be real. Isn't it
Right.
weird how animated they look when you watch them?
Yeah.
Like those videos don't look real. I believe they are real, but there's something in your brain, like when you watch a film with loads of CGI in it, and you go, oh yeah, well that looks so real, but I know they're not. I know they're not at Ragnarok or something like that. And I get the same feeling when I watch those Boston Dynamics robots things where you think like, it looks really real, but there's something not right about it.
Thank you, Area 503.
Yeah.
My man. Love you. Go subscribe to Area 503. Awesome channel. And he's going to come on again soon.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you think, though? Well, you probably don't think this, but I've been looking at these robots for a while now. I've been intrigued by them. But this is almost like you're looking at the next evolution of man. This is the thing that I think
The Borg.
it is the Borg. That is a show in itself. The reality that these things eventually will be the Borg. We're getting the Neuralink. We're getting the actual robots. We will be able to like have a wake-up call in our head that robot might know from this Neuralink that we need a glass of water in the night, and just come in and bring in us a glass of water. Or it might know you've got a headache and bring you a painkiller before you even know it.
I don't want that.
No, I think before that, I think your Apple Watch, your smartwatch will tell you those things. It's already now they can do like cardiograms on you. Can't they? You can, depending on which watch you've got, it'll check your hydration level to tell you whether you're
Hydrated?
Whether you're hydrated or not. It's coming. It's all coming.
Can you imagine you go to the toilet, you have a smart toilet, and you go to the toilet and it just says, you need to go to the doctors, you have chlamydia. It actually tests your urine or whatever.
Your bowels, yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you have cancer.
Right.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I woke up today, I had cancer. Well, go get that shit fixed.
Yeah.
And you can go get it fixed like that.
But saying that though, if I mean it's way down the line that a smart toilet, Elon, there you go, good idea for you, a toilet that tests you, that tests the toilet, that tests your feces, but that would be genius, and that would find out straight. That would find the earliest stages.
That's the best place to check too.
Yeah.
It's
probably coming down the line, but probably not though, because I don't think they don't want us to keep living that long. I'm not going to say anything more about that, but I think it's dangerous to make us live longer than we should.
Yeah.
If we go outside, it is. That's a possible future. I'm one of the things that I'm conflicted with, that idea of like reduction. We won't use the other words. I don't think the powers that be would hate the idea of high-rise buildings with small apartments with like maybe a single room that you sleep and eat and live in.
Well, I went to China probably about 5 years ago. Yeah, no, it was longer than that, Rich.
Yeah.
But when I went to China,
it was about 18 months ago, and you had that bat soup.
Yeah. But when I went, they were. I said, "What are these?" I speak to one of the guys there, and he says, "Well, people live there. It's just a little room. People just live in one room."
Yeah, like a jail cell.
Yeah, and you could see they were hanging off the buildings with like a little tiny balcony window that they could open and hang out. But you could see the bed, you could see the entire room that they had, the space that they had.
I saw
mean-
that. Yeah, they had that. There's a video of places that shows and how people live in other countries.
Crazy.
It's crazy.
But if we do get, if the population becomes to what it may come to, you know, that's might be the reality of all the countries, not just China.
Have we all watched Ready Player One?
I've watched it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the headset
Virtual
thing?
reality game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I watched it and fell
it's
asleep.
not bad. It's a cool ending.
No. I mean, the quality of the film doesn't really matter, but I can see that as a possible future.
Oh yeah.
You know, the idea of us living in these small places, basically communicating with each other in like a physical 3D realized internet. I can see that being the way humanity goes, especially I think what we're doing as far as making like people stay in and stuff like that is going to be a tool that's now used for many different like ills, be it climate, stuff like that. Don't worry, I'm on it. The head knows where to censor.
My last video was demonetized just from Oz telling the world what he didn't have in his system. So just be careful.
Really?
there.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. It
Oh
was.
no.
Not that I'm bothered about
Crazy.
that because it makes pence, but it's just
I know,
weird.
but
It's
that's-
just weird. Yeah.
Because I've talked about it.
Yeah, I think you've just got to use certain coding, but it's
Wow.
okay. It's okay, Will. We're all on board with whatever your plan is. It's not a problem.
Yeah, just leave us alone. That's all.
Brian, thank you so much, mate, for the super chat. And Battlestar Galactica is one of, especially the new one. I loved it. Have you guys seen it?
I've never seen it. I've watched the
Rich.
original. That's it.
It's even the new
Oh.
one is really good. Well, say new. It's quite a few years old.
I did
But-
watch it.
Spoiler alert, they're heading out, and you think that Earth has actually their planet's died, Earth, or dying and being attacked and what have you, because they created these robots. But so they're going out to look for a new planet, but the new planet they actually end up landing on is Earth, and it was like millions and millions of years ago in the past.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's the story of the original Battlestar, because I've
I
not
don't
watched
remember.
that in years. I used to watch it, I think, with my dad, so I can't really remember it. But I watched the recent. I binge watched it. It's absolutely fantastic. So
Oh,
go
right
watch
on.
Battles. It's so good.
But it's supposed to be a modern sci-fi classic, Battlestar Galactica, isn't it? The TV series,
Thank
the
you, Brian.
modern one.
So they somehow went into a wormhole.
No,
Okay.
no, they created robots like Elon's doing.
No,
Yeah.
I know. But if they went a million years in the past, how'd they get there?
No, they was already in the past, Rich. So they found Earth. So this is in the past. They went out into space to look for a new planet. The new planet that they found was Earth.
Oh,
So they
okay.
started again on Earth, but they started with
Oh.
very little. So they started from the beginning, basically, like Adam and Eve.
5,000 people.
Something like that. Yeah, probably less. I can't remember how it ended, but it's a great show.
That's an
I bet
interesting form of panspermia.
Yeah, but these robots, they went crazy. They became self-aware, and
The Cylons.
yeah, they didn't. They wanted to wipe the human species out.
I could see that happening. If a machine becomes self-aware, it now has emotions too that come along with being self-aware, I would think. And if you look at yourself and you recognize yourself, that's self-awareness. That's not emotion. But wouldn't that spawn off everything else and evolve into, well, I don't like the way I look today, or maybe he noticed, maybe the robot goes by a mirror and sees a scratch mark on its armor and wants to fix it. Why? You know, I mean, that's what I don't know if that's how it's going to start, but
I think it'd probably start with an accident, wouldn't it? You know, like a breaking code or something like that. You know, where
Like a
something-
short circuit or
short circuit. Yeah.
sabotage.
a chappy. Or what,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Poor Chad.
I've also wonder how long it'll take. And I don't think it'll need to be like a 1-to-1 machine to human comparison for people to fall in love with them as well. And that'll be the big. That'll be
People
such
already
a
are.
cool. Yeah. Well, there's an app that's probably worth messing around with for like at least the 7-day free trial. I can't remember what it's called. It's like a chatbot app you can get for iPhones. I'll remember. I'll send you the thing, Ollie, and you can stick it in the comments.
Well,
But
there's a film like that called Her.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix and his phone.
Yeah.
He falls in love with his phone.
Yeah, and this thing will give you a pretty like accurate representation of what you expect for a friend to message you. It's strange. I did it. I downloaded it because I was going to do a show on it, and I didn't end up doing it. But yes, someone's just put it up. It's called Replica, and it's fucking crazy. Like it really is strange.
And this thing talks to you like a human being.
Yeah, it'll just message you. Like, message you, say how you doing. What
Can
you up to? If you had a good day. You message it back. It'll message you back.
Can you flirt with it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you get it to?
Yeah, you can sex with it.
Can you get it to send you a dick pic?
No, it won't send you news, but you can
I
get
don't
it to
want
say.
dick pics. Stop sending me them.
You can get it to say some pretty filthy stuff back to you. But yeah, I was going to bring that up as well, Rich. It's a good point.
That's right.
Because as soon as you get that sort of thing, are they alive? Aren't they alive? You know, there will be like human rights or machine rights activists.
Yeah. It's stupid, isn't it? How it's going to be. It will be that way.
But if it becomes self-aware, I should have done the video totally different title, people. I'm sorry if you wanted to talk about stars. But this is what we do on this show. We just go out on a tangent. If it becomes self-aware, surely that self-awareness it's just code that's making it do that. Or is it... Would it become... What's the word I'm looking
Somebody
for?
would have to implant that code in the software.
Yeah.
Well, what you're trying to say is do you believe there's a soul? If there's a soul and like a genuine spark of humanity that makes us different to the other animals, then it is different. Because if we have something that's like intangible, that goes to off into the greater universe after we finish like the meat vessel journey, then there is a difference. If we are just essentially meat machines with really, really good code, and we make a machine facsimile with like identical code, then we've just made ourselves in robot form. But if we have got a soul, all we've done with the robots is make a close comparison to a human soul, and that's where everything gets a little bit sort of squirrely, isn't it?
But at the same time, and this is linking with the title that we are all made of stardust.
Desperately trying to link it back in with that title, aren't you?
I am desperately, absolutely. Thank you, Dorothy, for the $5 super chat. I really appreciate that. But you're right. I'm desperately trying to link it to the title. But I did think this, I thought, what if this bottle of beer, this is made from the universe really, isn't it? It's just, it's made out of the same things that I am. So who am I to say that this bottle of beer doesn't have something about it that is linked with the soul, or wherever you want to put it, life or anything. So
You mean how can we? What you mean? You can't prove a soul's hasn't got a soul, but it's that situation where it's like the Schrodinger's box, isn't it? I left my cats in the living room. I can't see my cats. I can't see my living room, but I'm pretty fucking sure they're still there.
Unless it's a simulation and they're just there's nothing
they're
behind you.
stored in RAM. But as far as things, if we've got inanimate objects like this table, like a bottle of water and stuff like that, then we have to. You can assume pretty safely that a coffee cup isn't a living, thinking creature.
Yeah, but what was going to link that to is if you create a robot that becomes self-aware, then maybe whatever because that's made of everything that you make, all the computers that you make, everything's made from the earth. Everything's made from what we've been given. Nothing's just miraculously appeared as a synthetic object that here's some. We've been beamed down some synthetic materials to make plastic and what have you. I don't know all the science behind it. Silicon, sand, whatever. When you create something from that, if that became self-aware, maybe that would give it a soul, because essentially it's come from the earth, just like we have.
So we're God.
Mm-hmm.
And we've given it the spark of life.
I'm not saying we're God.
But I think for something to have a soul, I think it has to be from the day the heart starts beating and the brain starts chiming away. I don't think that's something you can just inject into a robot. I think you're given the soul at birth. If that robot was evolving, it didn't have a soul when it started out, but we gave it one when it became self-aware. Yeah, see, that's tough, man. That's a tough one to crack right there.
But essentially, though, Rich, everything's made from the same stuff.
So when it dies, does its soul go where? Because it's energy and it goes somewhere. So we're going to have interacting ghost spirit robots? I mean, really?
Yeah. I mean, I don't think of a ghost as a physical, something that you can see that looks like your great grandma. Or
isn't that the soul? The spirit?
Maybe it's what the soul wants to implement on your brain. Whatever that is, maybe they will show themselves as a person or a memory. That doesn't mean to say that is what they are. So what that soul might look like is something that nobody's ever really seen. And you will only see that as somebody who I'm not even going to say dead, because I used to be an atheist, but do you know? I think there's definitely a recycle system here. We do it. Well, we're trying to now. It's a little bit too late, but we are trying to be a little bit more gentle on the planet and what have you. But what if there is the universe has a recycle system?
Dorothy Hawkins in the comments, if you want to pop her up, just put, what if consciousness... there we go. There it is. And I think that's an interesting subject, because if you can copy something, see, this is why I don't think that works as a form of immortality, if you will, because I could do that right now if the technology was there. Yeah, if the technology was there, I could upload my consciousness to this point into a machine.
Yeah,
you could stick that machine, Lee, in a different country and leave us living for 10 years. those two machines would be the same consciousness that have lived two vastly different experiences over the last 10 years. So therefore wouldn't be the same person anymore. So I don't think that whole idea of downloading consciousness would have anything to do with the soul. It's just downloading your experiences to that point.
Yeah, I don't think if you die and they've got this technology where you can put yourself into a USB stick, that's going to be...
I think it'd be a lovely thing to do for your family.
It's not going to be you, though.
No, it wouldn't be you. But if you could speak to a electronic copy of your father or your grandmother, or it's the idea of grief would vastly change. Like losing someone would vastly change immediately.
If I'm gonna die, and we put my consciousness into a robot, there's two of me now. Is basically what's happened, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. So we got to keep the other one. You can't leave my other consciousness contained in a cell until I die.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, I'd get mad. And can we control that other consciousness? And can it control me?
That was an
Johnny Depp.
the Black Mirror episode where
I was thinking about the upload, whatever, with Johnny Depp.
No, they uploaded consciousnesses of people. Oh, sorry,
Right.
the super AI consciousness into Alexas, didn't they? I'm sorry for anyone that owns an Alexa. And those they slowly went crazy, didn't they, inside their little AI assistant because they
you
were
could be there
conscious.
Forever.
Yeah, they were just stuck in there forever.
One was inside the guy's head, and then he shut her up.
Yeah.
And she sat there for forever. That's correct. Years. He had a whole new family and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he died.
Mm-hmm.
And still have the relationship with everybody. But I just think that if that happens, why can't my soul, my consciousness, be in the robot at that point? If my consciousness goes into this robot and it's me, does not my soul come with me? Or is it the soul? See, self-awareness and the soul aren't the same thing.
Exactly. So is it? See, for me, it would just be your memories. It'd be like downloading all of the information you've gathered, flaws and all, into something else. But
yeah,
I like to believe that there is something special about people. It's that age-old question, isn't it? Of if we take out, and I know this is definitely going to upset the chat given the channel, but if you take out the videos of lights and stuff that we see in the sky and take out the idea of aliens because there's no cast iron proof that we've been talking about, you have to think to yourself, well, if we haven't been visited in all this, and we think not only that we haven't been visited, but that humanity might have gone for many, many thousands more years just with different cataclysms in between where we've had to rebuild and rebuild and rebuild. And we still haven't found extraterrestrial life that are on other planets. Maybe we are special. Maybe we're it. Maybe we are life on this planet.
We're the center of the universe.
But we don't have to be the center. We could be just off to the left. But for all intents and purposes of life forms, we could be it. That could be why it seems so fucking quiet out there.
No, everything's just so gosh darn far apart. Nobody can figure out how to go from point A to point B.
But for all those millions of years, that's the. Don't get me wrong. The other thing is, there could be loads of life all across the universe and the galaxies. But we could be the most technically advanced of any of them. We could be the apex
or the least.
Yeah, but if we're the least and it's that old, I would think that there would be something zipping around to get there. But then again, I suppose you don't find polar bears in Africa because the polar bears can't get to Africa.
If we're so advanced and smart and this is the apex, why can't we figure out how the pyramids were made? Exactly.
Yeah.
But going back to that, Rich, that you've just said, when we're talking about people that, take for example the Incas, that that was drawing star charts and what have you, a lot of the evidence of them doing anything has been destroyed. Something was covered up there. I don't think it was covered. It was destroyed in anything natural. Somebody didn't want us to see what they were doing. So when you look at history and you look at, there's things that I think have been covered up just for, I don't know if it's for religious reasons or what, but there are things that we are not allowed to see that have happened in the past. Whether you look at the pyramids, whether you look at the Inca ruins, that's a pyramid in itself. These people, I think they were more advanced than. That doesn't mean to say that I think that they were speaking to aliens, because and Lee, this I'm not afraid to say this anymore because it probably will piss people off in the chat. But I don't think it was, because I think they all love a little bit of Alien Addict. Like, share, and subscribe.
Well,
beautiful people. But what I was going to say, Rich, though, is that I think sometimes when I'm seeing you talk on your show, I almost see that in you, that you're finding it hard to believe, almost in the fact that this place is being visited. It's almost like you're struggling to believe in the UFOs these days. I'm not saying they're not there. I definitely think they're there, but I think you're struggling to comprehend what they are, what they actually are.
Oliver of Alien Addict, UFO shill confirmed.
It is what I'm having a problem with is the failure of man himself as a species, not wanting to sacrifice their power, their greed, and everything for the truth. It is going to take a Herculean effort to get to the point where we all want to be with technology. We want to be advanced, free energy. But a lot of people are, look at all the people that died trying to make the water car. Not a lot of people, but, people have been killed just for that because they came up with a way to do without gasoline. So until gas and oil are gone, there's no other option on the table because it's too much money. And a lot of people who come up with ways to create this technology, I guess, or have found ways, have been silenced. And people just would rather choose their careers and the wealth and the power instead of coming together with 100 other billionaires and just making it real, making our future happen. Because you got to go up against all that is running this planet. And it's going to take a lot of people, a lot of billionaires to do it. And I say that because it's true. You can't just do it with one family, let's say the Rockefellers or another family over here. You can't do it with 3 families because, the secret government can take them out. That's too easy. But when you have a lot of people doing, a lot of families, see, that's what they're all scared of. They're afraid that they're going to lose their power, their seat at the throne, and they'd rather just follow along and live making billions of dollars a year without helping mankind. We have a chance to do it.
Do you ever think that it's something that it is?
I just touched it. It was squeezed in. Sorry.
Do you ever think that it is something else, though, Rich?
Yeah. I think there is. Yeah,
and
I think there's something.
And that the channel, your channel, my channel, we just literally we are winging it, and we are talking nonsense. Every time we speak to the chat. This is why I don't want to influence anybody in terms of
nonsense. Isn't a good word, though.
No, you are correct there. It's not.
Because I don't think we're talking nonsense. I think we're spinning our wheels. We're not going anywhere. Mm-hmm. And no matter how long I've been in this field now, 17 years, it's gotten worse. People may say, Rich, what are you talking about? It's gotten better. Mainstream media, da-da-da-da-da. Yeah, but now it's quiet. And now we've got Anjali saying there's the magical tunnel. We've heard these stories before. So now we have this filling in the void. Nonsense.
Do you think
Or
it's because
is
it's to
it
grab
planned?
attention?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, that's what I want to. That's where my knee-jerk reaction goes to, is that she's full of it. But that is a real big thing she put out there, saying that she talked to aliens. She had this press conference. She wants to get researchers to go back. Now, if that's real, don't you think they're going to put a team on her and watch her 24 hours a day? She's being watched right now. And they're going to wait for her to make her move, and they're going to figure out where she's going and jump in front of it before it happens, and they're going to stop it, and they're going to destroy that tunnel.
It's
And
the same.
what researchers as well?
She'll name them. She said she will.
But it's the same as the
I don't know who, though.
Lazar stuff, isn't it? Because the one thing I always get with Lazar is, when you look back at his story, how he was bugged and he was found to be like talking to people about what he'd done at Area 51 supposedly, and he took people to watch these things. He took John Lear, didn't he, out to the desert to see these things. If that's real, none of those people leave that desert alive.
I would think not.
You're in the middle of the desert. There's nobody there. You're out
Right.
watching UFOs. You're dragged into the military base. You are gone. Bye, Bob. You had a cool last name.
Unless he was supposed to do that.
Unless he was supposed to do that.
And think about his name, his last name. Lazy.
Is that
Yeah.
Come on.
bizarre?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I never thought of that. That's wonderful. Yeah, how come they're not dead? You just recorded top secret alien spacecraft. Well, technology anyway, but they should be
Or-
gone.
Even in the most grounded sense of it, it's espionage.
That's right.
Even at the most, it's human made. It's a pilot in there. It's espionage.
You're right.
Like, Edward Snowden couldn't escape with a few fucking memory sticks.
That's a great point, by the way. It is.
Lee's on fire.
Yeah, totally. No, that makes sense, man. Bob Lazar should be in prison with Lazar or whatever is Lear, and the other guy who was over there.
But what if he
That's-
doesn't know?
What if he doesn't know?
What if
Who?
Bob. What if he thinks that's what he saw? What if he thinks that's what he?
Oh, because he knew Wednesday nights 7:30.
Yeah,
Oh.
because maybe he was all the jigsaw pieces fell into place. They put all the right pieces in the right place at the right time. They knew what they wanted to happen.
Oh, right.
Maybe to go as far as to say that they wanted this to come out at this time.
That's what I was thinking. They did it on purpose to see how we would react to it. But now we've got, why we wait 35 years later to do it again with the 3 videos.
It seems to me that there's so many things now that are put into place to knock us off the scent of what actually is going on. Because especially with these videos that have been put out, and I don't actually blame Corbell for putting them out. If he was given them, he put them out. Would I do it? If someone sent me some videos, I probably would.
No, if you did, no. I'm serious, dude. You would not put that out there if you were Corbell, you would. But if you were you, and I worked for the Pentagon and said, dude, I know you won't believe the story, but there were 14 UFOs. I can only give you one with one on here.
Rich, I would put it out, but I would add something to it.
I don't think you would. I think if you were put in that situation and the Pentagon gave you this, by the way, somebody risked their lives and their career for Corbell with that video, and it's an airplane. It's bokeh or bokeh, whatever it is.
This is how it would go. I would put the video out like that. There we go. So the video would go out, and this is exactly how I would do it.
Okay.
You'd see the video, yep. I would stay silent through it to let people make their own mind up. Okay. And then when that little blob decides to disappear, I think this is the slow motion version. Why did it do that?
I don't know. Feels like we've been here for days.
It's dead time. Anyway, let's just imagine it's about to end.
Slow motion.
Right at the end, I'd just go like that.
Oh, my soul's dying.
I would end it with that. Simple. That's it. Sorry, Rich, I've covered you up.
That's all right. I like it. Wait.
No, I know what you're saying. No, I would have to give an explanation. I would have to say, well, I've been given
But
this.
you can't, dude. See, this is what happened with Corbell. He had no choice but to word things the way... That's why it takes him 6 to 8 weeks to put videos out, because he's got to learn what to say and not mess up. I think he's being told, this is it, put it out this way, or we won't give you anything. But he may even be sitting there saying, but this isn't what you told me. I mean, this looks like an airplane. He may have said that. So what? You're going to be rich because you'll be able to make documentaries just based on your name and they'll sell. Oh, see? So, or it's all fake, which I kind of think Jeremy Corbell and his little gang of videos, it's all made up. I don't think he has anybody in the Pentagon. I don't think anybody's risking anything. There would be some sort of investigation. For leaking, that's illegal. You can't put that stuff on the internet. You're leaking top secret shit. Or stuff that shouldn't be out to the public. Stolen from the CIC? Somebody videotaped it inside the CIC? You can't do that.
But you believe Fravor. Yeah, you believe Fravor as a pilot. His story is real.
His story seems pretty real, but let's not forget, he is an actor, too. There were, after he had the Nimitz encounter, a year later he made a documentary. 6 episodes.
That doesn't make him an actor.
It makes him an actor because he knows how to talk in front of the camera, knows how to walk, knows how to act better, where to stand.
Knows how to naturally read lines.
It's not as easy as you think.
Yeah.
But he may be an actor. I don't know. But I could tell you this right now. I can tell you a story. You write out 10 sentences and I'll make you believe it tomorrow that it happened to me. That's how good an actor I am.
What would it take you to sell out?
10 mil.
In 10 million.
10 mil.
You would, on your channel, you'd put up. Be careful what you say here, Rich.
Wait, let me let you finish the question.
There's a lot of your subscribers in the chat.
Yeah, they know me.
Ollie, whatever you're going to say after that, I would take 10 million for. Not even that. For.
Right, that's why I said it, because 10 mil.
So for 10 million, you had to... They told you what it was. I tell you what, I'd feel bad. And I don't, because look, Greer turned down $2 billion to not shut up. But for 10 million, they came to you and said, "Look, Rich, this is what it is. It's God. It's God.
Right.
There's no such thing as UFOs. These are pictures. They took you into a studio. They took you up into space. They showed you planet Earth, and they showed you things around planet Earth, and you saw that the universe is pretty much empty. They said when they went to the moon, the reason why the astronauts were so disappointed when they was being interviewed is because they realized that is where it ended. And they said, we're going to tell you this, Rich, but we need you to sell the UFO. The UFO. We need you to sell the UFOs. We need you to sell alien life. So we're going to send you footage, and we're going to pay you $5 billion.
Look,
to sell that story. Here, $5 billion. This not 10 mil. $5 billion. We're going to do an Austin Powers here.
Here's the deal.
Would you lie to the world?
I would have to think there's
an Oswaldo.
And I'm not that stupid. I would, and the reason I would do it, and I think everybody here who knows me knows that the only reason I'm doing it is for my family's future and mine. But there must be a very important reason why they have to do this, create this narrative that aliens are out there? There's got to be a reason. And is it to give people something to do? Why? Is it to distract the public? Because to be honest with you, the public doesn't really care. 98% of the people on the planet really don't think about UFOs. Probably 99% of them.
No,
There's not a lot of us.
I only realized that when the first footage dropped. You know, when that first sort of military footage dropped, and you thought, well, obviously, like, you know, it's you can't really see what it is. But when you've got like the weight of the media behind it, going, oh, we think this might be something from a different planet, and nobody cared.
Not really. You think everything would have went multi-viral, right?
The only people that cared were us, and we already cared. So it wasn't this whole thing of it being put out there to like prep the public, unless it's going to be there's two ways I think it would work. Either it's not put out for the public, it's put out there for us to take our time up. It's our waste thing, whereas there's various other things that go on in the world to take other people up, be it climate activists getting whipped up into shape to go and do their activism stuff, be it wannabe bankers and investors getting wound up into Bitcoin and stuff. There's all these like almost mini games that you can play on the plane of reality now, or if it is for any sort of real disclosure, it's not for disclosure. It's so that in a few years' time, like my son knows what an alien is now, and I don't really watch stuff with him. And I found that weird the other day when he saw like a picture of a grey, and he said, "Oh, that's an alien." He's 4, and I didn't really understand. Yeah, I didn't really understand how he knew that. So he's soaked that up from like a couple of YouTube videos, maybe what we're watching on Netflix, that sort of stuff. Unless what this is the real slow drip. So in a 10 years time or 15 years time, the next generation just go, yeah, well, of course there's aliens up there. Of course there is. There always has been.
But if you look at the time span of as talking about aliens and what, I mean, really in like media times, I'm not talking about like ancient paintings on walls. I'm talking about when we've been talking, when people have been telling us about people being abducted, their visits from outer space. I'm talking the last 100 years, that sort of span of where it's gone out into media. That is small. But if you look at what kings and queens did, they fought ahead. They fought ahead hundreds of years because they thought about their the next generation of people. Yeah. So what if whatever this is, and it is weird because we've been given drips and drabs. I don't care what people say. You know, it's all going to happen. We've been given the best years of his life when it comes to the past 7 years of ufology. We have been given still drips and drabs. And I'll go back to what I just said there. When it comes to how kings and queens or royals or even governments or whatever, they think hundreds of years ahead of how they're going to plan everything and put the different pieces in place. What is the bigger picture when it comes to this? What is this about? Because there's not enough evidence to show what this actually is.
It's about free energy. It's about technology is what it really comes down to. We want that technology. Regardless whether we find and talk and hang out with aliens.
That's what we want. Yeah, but what is it? What if it's not aliens? What would the other reason for it be?
Oh, well, that's why I was bringing up Anjali. Now that they've brought her into the picture, you remember how Lou said, look, we don't even have the technology to understand what it is? In a way, he's saying this is esoteric. It's something that may be from the earth or created by the earth. I mean, he said a lot of different things and a lot of different interviews because he gets all different questions. But what if that's what it is and Anjali's the next piece of the puzzle? See, I can't understand, and I've been thinking about this since she came out with this story. Why now? Why is she coming out now? And the biggest lull we've had in ufology in 2-3 years. There's not a lot. You don't see Lou anywhere really anymore. No mainstream play. It's very, 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 very slow after June 25th.
Yeah, this
And
is
then-
the hot potato.
Yeah.
It's very hot.
It is.
With a little
And-
bit of butter.
So what if she is going to be the person that will get us to the next level and believe that these are mind-reading, mind-melding aliens that, you know, they're just as scared as we are, even though they have the technology to live in a cave that somehow seamlessly meshes into rocks and everything. But it's hard to believe, but maybe she's the part of the story that Lou couldn't tell. Remember when in episode 4 of season 1 of Unidentified, at the end, the last 5 minutes of that show, Lou asked his higher up, can I get this, whatever, XYZ evidence? I need access to this. And his boss tells him, Lou, we can't give you that. And he's like, why not? He goes, because they're demons, man. They're demons. And that's from somebody in the government. Yes, our government's filled with, a lot of Christian views and all that. But, got those Bible thumpers that are out there still. I think we need to move away from the Bible stuff and just get to the nuts and bolts. And that's kind of one of the reasons why Lou left ATIP. And then he got stuck with TTSA. It wasn't what he thought it was, and now he's out on his own. But while it's slow,
he's dropped the demon thing though, hasn't he? After TTSA, wasn't it on CNN or something like that? I'm sure he's dropped.
Said it recently.
He didn't
Yeah.
say it, but he said what his higher up said to him.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, and we don't have the technology to study it, well, maybe that's why this story came out from Anjali, who is, who worked with the FBI and counterintelligence just the same as Lou, even though she didn't know who he was. But she's a counterintelligence agent as well, or ex.
She didn't know who
Lou.
Alexander.
She didn't know. She never even heard of him, she said. They don't know. I'm sure they work different parts of the world. He was in Afghanistan or in ATIP too, and
No, but
did she
say in an interview when somebody mentioned him, she went, Lou, who's he?
Yeah, she knew of him, but she didn't know who he was when she was working
Right, okay.
in the FBI. But she's an actress. She's made commercials. She was trying to be a politician, failed at that. But what if for some reason they asked her, look, you seem to have a gist of things, that's going on. Maybe you can come to this cave with us and we want to show you something. And what if they introduced her and they made up this whole story? We need this to be the next piece of the... I'm just throwing it out there because I don't understand her involvement.
Cool.
Because her claims will have to produce the most incredible evidence to date. And she's not going to get it.
That's a good point. You're not talking like smoking gun, are you? You're talking like smoking unicorn with fucking sparkles.
Hell yeah, I
flying off
am.
it.
Yeah, man. Well said.
But the thing is, what if you think back to like a few years ago, and you look at like the sort of the rise of like Alex Jones and stuff like that, and him getting into Bohemian Grove. There is enough out there to suggest that there is some other belief amongst like our great and good, and if we're willing to fuck with those sort of ideas, what if that's the secret? What if the secret is like whether them saying they're demons? What if the secret is that's what the end goal is to try and contact these motherfuckers?
You mean to bring them into our reality?
Yeah.
And they are demons.
Yeah, well, look, like, let's all be fucking honest here. We've all seen the like displays and stuff that these places like CERN do when when they open a new part of it and they have like basically fucking
Rituals.
Luciferian rituals is what they are. It's fucking crazy. And I don't think if you're looking at that, that's supposed to be a purely fucking scientific, like numbers, like not like fucking intangible magic. It's the fact that they ran that bloody like fake sacrifice outside in the grounds, didn't they, in front of the statue of Sheba, and then someone turned around and said, "Oh, it was just our crazy interns dicking about." Your crazy interns doing a fake human sacrifice. What the fuck? I mean, like,
it's odd.
I've pulled loads of jokes over the years. Never have I done a human sacrifice ever, and I've wanted to more than once. But yeah, it's fucking crackers.
I've had sacrifices on my show. Remember when I used to do them? They were, what were they called?
Is that when you kept getting new subscribers and it was just like you sacrificed like a chicken?
No, it was when I
get like 10,000.
I wish it worked that way, but no. What's that movie where they're allowed to kill people?
Purge.
Yeah, I was purging people.
You were purging. Yes, I remember
did the
that.
purges. Yeah. I purged a lot of people. Jaime Maussan, Tyler, lots of people. Anyway, it's all great points, Lee. I think we don't know, but what Alex Jones did back then was unreal. Showing that stuff. I mean, everybody heard about it, but he actually showed us.
He was a different animal back then, Alex Jones.
Well, everything was different back then. The internet was only, 5-10 years old, really? 10 years old, maybe. I think it's the addition to the smartphone, people having such quick access to everything almost immediately as it happens. I think that scares media and anybody else who has an agenda.
I think they lost control of it.
Yeah, of course. Well,
I think this came out as like a propaganda, and we can sway the public through like various means if we can contact them all the time. But I think the internet was Pandora's box. I think that's what they're trying to do right now. Was it Obama that sort of launched this thing of having like Internet 2 and stuff, where it'd be more like cable subscription than what we look at as the internet. I think one of the things they're trying to do right now is trying to get a lid back on the box.
Hey, I tell you, we already are paying for the internet.
Yeah.
We're not? But if, let's just say you had to have a subscription to the internet, like a legitimate one, not just the internet access, I think then, because we're paying for it, everything can go again. Then it opens up. That's why we have HBO and Sirius Satellite, because you are not governed by the FCC. When people pay to listen to you, that's different than free, TV and free FM.
What I worry is that the internet will turn into like an overlay, like a smartphone. So it's, instead of you going into your box and being able to go to whichever website you want to, it will be like looking at your iPhone, where you have to download selected apps from the store to access those websites. That'd be the worry for me, because then the sites can be vetted more than they are now, and that's when
vetted.
Because you can't just pop an app up onto the Apple Store.
Not anymore.
Yeah, you can't just
You
fire
could.
it. Yeah, you can't just fire one up there though. So the minute you have like a internet regulator, I'm realistic. We've already got covert regulators. We're watching what we say right now on YouTube.
Yeah.
But if it gets that one step further, where it stops being like this free and open platform, and it is just, all right, well, what can you download on the internet? Well, you can download like CNN, BBC, and
you can download everything you can on your phone.
Yeah, but what if the access to the other stuff disappears?
It's gone.
Yeah.
Disappeared.
And you have to pay for it?
No, it's
just gone.
It's just gone. That layer of the internet where you can go and set up your own site and you can go and put your own content on disappears.
I don't think that'll ever go.
Like
I hope
BitChute,
not.
BitChute, you can't get the BitChute app on the iPhone.
No. Yeah.
It's
And
not
that's
even available.
And that's a massive problem for them, because nobody really sits in front of their computer and watches like YouTube. Most people watch YouTube through an app on an iPad or a phone.
Yep.
So for any of these like breakthrough platforms like a Rumble or something like that to actually compete with YouTube, they have to compete with YouTube on an equal playing field, and they won't have that until they can have a like for like app with that platform.
Or they won't have that until the big tech companies will actually accept them on their platforms.
They fuck themselves to the point where, because I don't believe that like channels like your guys' channels are going to last forever on YouTube.
No, neither do I.
No, I think
unfortunately,
we've seen so many channels be purged. I think there will be a time where you guys are the next ones. There's always I said this when Alex Jones was taken off platforms, that he was the beginning, and they used him because the general populace could laugh.
Everybody.
Well, they could laugh at him. They could laugh at the guy that shouted all the time, losing his platform, and they didn't care. But then after it was him, it was like, then you could get conservative commentators that go like Milo Yiannopoulos. Then you've got now you've got certain doctors and scientists, because they're saying the wrong thing, they're losing their channels and their Twitter access. Twitter banned like a sitting president. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, it's because that's their belief system. They don't believe or like Trump, so that asshole decided to silence him.
Mm-hmm.
And when you become an influencer of like Twitter and Facebook, I think you should fall under the guise of the First Amendment of the United States, where freedom of speech should not be, put to an end.
Mm-hmm.
Just because you don't believe or like what somebody says, you're going to silence them?
No.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's the
it
worst thing I've ever seen. And I just can't believe I can't believe that people don't want to go somewhere else. They just like going on Twitter because they like saying Twitter, I think. I don't know.
Yeah.
Everybody
maybe.
should just get up and leave.
I don't understand Twitter, I'll be honest with you.
I
try
still
my
don't.
best.
I hate Twitter.
I get messages and I kind of don't understand what I've been messaged in. So I'm like,
yeah,
where's the original thread? I don't understand it. I get like, I've been tagged in something. And I'm like, but where's the original? I don't know how to use it.
It's a good saying, isn't there, with things like this? A good saying that if you cut a man's tongue out, you can't tell if he was lying. All you can tell is that somebody was scared of what they were going to say.
Yeah.
I mean, to bring it back in with the channel, because we need
Stardust.
to do that. Well, I'm not going to talk about the Stardust so much, but I honestly, and I think it's been more than 2 years now, probably 3 years, to the point where I'm so frustrated with this subject, because I think there's so many people that, I'm not saying they know it's something different to what it actually is, to what people are saying it is. I think the subject of ufology and whatever these beings are, I think nobody's talking about what it actually is.
Mm-hmm. I think you're right. I think that's one of the things I brought up last week, wasn't it? When I was talking to Osvaldo,
Osvaldo.
These things used to be called like jinn or goblins, in another 50 years, in another 100 years, UFOs and aliens will be called something else again. We've already seen the shift in modern times by all of a sudden like the UAP thing instead of UFO. But all you need is then a change in the like culture and mythology for them to be something again, just some other sort of mythical, strange entity. And that's not me saying that I don't think they're there. Anti-media zombie put tricksters, and I sometimes I think that's a better analogy of them. Are these the Are they chaos? Are they literally like the embodiment of chaos that's just here to fuck with things? If so, why aren't I one?
Well, here's the thing. If you look, and I'm not talking about the alien stuff, but you look at paintings of dragons, of demons, you look at gargoyles, you look at all these weird, woo things, the things that go bump in the night that we've been talking about for thousands and thousands of
boogeyman.
years. Yeah. Who are we that in the last 100? How long is that, Rich? You might know the date, but when did all the UFO stuff actually start? Where we started to report on it? You
I
know,
believe it was 1952.
1952. So how many years is that? It's what?
63, 69 years? I don't know. What
Okay,
is
well,
it, 70?
That's when we started to report on it properly.
Under 100 years, like a generation, say.
Okay, so
No, more than that. It's like 3 generations ago.
Oh, sorry, I
Yeah.
meant like a lifetime. That's where I was going.
so after,
It's 5 generations ago, basically.
I think there was stuff that was reported before the Roswell crashes, though. There was
There was the 1889 or 98.
But we're talking big media here, aren't we?
Yeah. I mean, but the one thing that hit that what is it that? Oh my God, I can't think. It was in Texas, Aurora, Texas, and the alien crashed into a wind thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
They
yeah.
buried it in the well. That was a story that went pretty much all over in the newspaper, but it took a month to get around the world.
What was the one where they buried the alien under a tree?
That's it.
Is that the one? Is it?
Yeah, it's Aurora, Texas. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the real media started with Roswell.
Mm.
That was like I would have to say the first. Actually, no, it's not. It's before Roswell, because you had the guy who created the term flying saucer in the same year, 1947, just 6 months earlier or a few months earlier.
Would have Foo Fighters been the first? What
Oh,
you think
maybe,
of as
yeah.
modern day? Because there's
Right.
a letter from Churchill, isn't there, where it was declassified in the UK fucking ages ago, and in this letter it brought up like these things that the pilots were seeing in the sky, and they decided that they weren't ours, they weren't allies, they weren't Axis, and Churchill put like a hold on it. It was like a 40-year hold, because he believed that looking into this now would hurt the war effort.
For anybody watching this now or is in the chat, it's not that we don't know how long this has been going on. We're talking about major media reporting on it. We're not talking about when it all started. And there was a few reports. We're talking about major worldwide reports where there's a massive awareness. So back to my point there. Who are we to discard thousands and thousands of years of intelligent human beings just because they didn't have our technology at the time? They didn't have our science at the time. They didn't have the ways, and maybe they did have the ways and means, I don't know. But who are we to discard that? To go on a whim for some phone footage, for some news articles and a bit of military footage. Who are we to say that is aliens? Who are we to say that is an extraterrestrial from a different planet, and it's not what these people have been talking about for thousands and thousands of years? I think to discard that is doing this subject a disservice. I think you need these people that are researching this hard, these big ufologists that are researching this subject, they need to forget the ancient alien theorists, actually look at the history of demons, look at the history of dragons, of the mystical shite. Look at that.
Well, this has been my take on this ever since I've started doing these shows with you, isn't it? That we've humanized these things. We've humanized them by putting nuts and bolts on them and deciding they're built in factories. And that's my issue with it, and especially the way it's being presented to us right now. It's all about the technology, and it very well could be. It could be just
More than likely.
hyper advanced technological crafts that are built in ways we don't understand how they're built. But it's the fact that sounds like such a human way of doing things, and but that's the same as when you look at these things being looked at as mythical creatures. It's because back then we didn't have the technology to stamp on them, so we stamped magic and folklore on them, which is what made them goblins and vampires and things like that. It's just this right now is the best way we can describe what we're seeing. In 100 years' time, what else would it be? It might be something completely different. Maybe when you look at what we're doing with how much like psychedelics are being pushed forward now, maybe the next phase of wondering what these things are is to think there's something on a different astral plane. Maybe it's going to go back into a more of a spiritual thing than it is into a technology thing.
They are pushing psychedelics recently. Everything that I'm watching on TV, me and the missus watched a new show on Amazon Prime with Nicole Kidman, and she's drugging everybody with psychedelics to make them realize their real self of who they actually are.
Yeah.
I'm frustrated with more the community and the people that influence the community that don't speak about this. They don't consider anything else other than aliens. They don't consider that this could be something that's been here forever, since we've been here, maybe older than what we are. But when you're talking about
ultra terrestrial rather than extraterrestrial,
Well,
yeah,
I was just listening to Billy Carson talking about hollowed earth and how, we've got people living in the earth and maybe that's where the aliens live, and how pilots have actually flown into these openings and out. And there's stories even, I think, from way back when Richard Byrd was all the way out there. And
yeah.
So, I mean, I think the aliens, if there are aliens here, they're either in Antarctica somewhere. I think it's easier to build in ice than it would be than rock, so maybe that's what they've done. But the moon fascinates me more than anything. And you think about the Truman Show, that's where they had their whole studio, looking down on. I mean, that could be what they're doing to us.
Do you know what I would like to know is what I'm sure someone will have calculated this because it must be crazy. But when you look at the moon and the sun, what are the odds that you have something that's exactly the same shape as something else, but billions of miles apart from each other between the moon and the sun, but just far enough apart that they appear exactly the same size in the sky, so when one covers the other, it perfectly covers it. That's fucking nuts.
They said it's an the odds are astronomical. It shouldn't. Our moon is ridiculously big for the planet Earth.
So the thing is, when you look at what they can say like it's an astronomical anomaly. So what they're trying to say is, without saying it, is it's beyond reasonable doubt that it was an accident.
Our moon's the only moon in our system as well that doesn't spin, that actually stays in its
static in its orbit.
No, it does. It turns, but we only see one side of it.
Yeah.
But it's turning it's going with us.
Yeah.
That's another one of the crazy, like, intangible things, isn't it? Is the fact that it turns at the same speed as what we turn, so we're always seeing the same face of it.
Right.
Look at Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. With the triangle.
One.
You never see that side. of the moon,
And it's twice as thick
and it rang like a bell. Apparently,
for hours, apparently. Yeah, well, that's because no gravity, no air, no atmosphere, no water, no trees, nothing to stop it.
But I thought in space no one can hear you scream, but we can hear a bell.
The moon, I guess, yeah, it's interesting.
Well, yeah,
the moon's got an atmosphere, though, hasn't it? It's got a thin atmosphere, but the moon has an atmosphere. It's not a vacuum.
It is a vacuum.
I'm sure.
I thought it was a vacuum.
Well,
That's why you can't hear anything on the moon.
I think there's a thin atmosphere.
It rang like a bell.
You're thinking about Mars.
Oh, maybe.
The moon has an atmosphere, of course. Not an atmosphere. It's got gravity, but it has no atmosphere at all.
I thought it did.
I know what you thought.
I will be wrong.
Well, just ask. Just put it in Google.
No, it's cool.
No. Now you got me wondering. I'll check it out.
I would
Does
ask.
the moon?
I'd ask her, but she'll rabbit on.
Here we go. The moon has an atmosphere, but it's very, very tenuous. Gases in the lunar atmosphere are easily lost to space because of the moon's low gravity. Light atoms, such as helium, receive enough energy from solar heating so that they escape in just a few hours. It's so small.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I knew it was small, but I thought I
Okay.
thought it had like a thing.
Yeah,
Everything's perfect though in our
I know.
solar system. You've got Jupiter, which is the warrior that is defending us from being wiped out. How we have not had another dinosaur situation?
65 million years.
How that has not happened is
I've got a
beyond
moon
me.
question for you.
It has, but a lot smaller.
Yeah.
Yeah, but how it's not taken us out, Rich, is beyond me.
I don't know. It's
I've got
bizarre.
I've got a moon question for you. If when you look up at the moon as we see it, yeah, and you see the fact it's peppered with craters, like peppered with impact craters, yeah. How does that happen when the Earth's in the way?
Well, the Earth was getting peppered at the same time. When in the creation, the Earth.
But why don't we have that many? Do you know what I mean? We would have more huge craters.
Well, we have
Surely.
plate tectonics. Everything's moving, and all that. The
We have a
water.
lot we do have a lot of craters, but they
We
come
do,
with,
but-
with like forests and so there are some big craters. I just don't think. I think because the moon's untouched, you know, they stay there on that side, and that's a lot of. I had I called him a flat earther, and he said I'm not a flat earther, I'm a globe denier. He corrected me on that. I interviewed 007.
He was a jeb end.
And I asked him a question. I said, so explain to me why there are craters on the moon if the Earth's flat. And he's like, he could, and I said, explain meteorites to me. Explain, stuff coming through the atmosphere. And that they can't. I've said to flat earthers before, because I respect that. I have respect for anybody that chooses to believe in a certain subject, because the reason why they believe in that subject is because they don't trust what is in front of their faces. So I'm not going to argue with somebody that doesn't trust something, because that's their belief, and I respect.
But you can't turn down real scientific facts, and that's what they're doing.
Totally, I agree with you, Rich. So I said, so your model of the flat Earth, God, we've gone from everything stardust.
I know, it's been
crazy.
great.
So your model of the flat Earth, yeah, you've got this model here, and you've got the sun that goes round your model, yeah, of the flat Earth, and you've got a moon, okay? So, but that sun is so bright, so surely if it's flat, you would always see that sun. That sun would never disappear, ever. It would never go completely black if it's on. You've seen the model, yeah. You must have seen the plate with the moon going round, the sun going round, but the sun's going round, but yet a certain area will go black, like it's almost like the sun's turned off. You would always, if you can see the stars in the sky at night, you would see that big sun, wouldn't you?
Not their model. Like I've watched quite a lot of the flat Earth stuff. I think it's dead interesting thought experiment, to be honest.
Oh, it's my guilty pleasure. I like to watch a
Yeah.
little bit of. I think that the sergeant that they've got though. I think Elon just needs to launch the fucker into space. I've said this so many times. It's like a broken record, but that is what he needs to do. He's got a sense of humor. Launch the biggest flat earther into space and film him shitting himself. Because I guarantee he'll be shitting himself on the way up because he thinks this rocket's going to explode. This rocket's going to explode. Oh no, Shivai. Oh no, Shivai.
I think I'd be very fucking iffy about getting on any of those rockets.
No way.
I
you
have
see
said
the-
this. Go on, Rich.
No, go ahead.
No. I've seen what?
The last launch that they just did, where the rocket went to take off, and instead of going up, it went to the side and then went up. It went off the thing, the launch pad, and then went off to the side a couple 100 feet, and then it slowly started going up. Just a couple days ago.
So it like did this. So it went.
Yeah. It looked like it was going to fall over, right out the gate, and then it straightened itself up. You know how when they come in for a landing, that's what it looked like. It looked like it was going to land, but then it took off. It just didn't go straight up. It's so weird. It wound up just getting destroyed anyway. It malfunctioned halfway up. Anyway, I was just adding on to what you talked about.
No, I didn't see that takeoff, and I do like to watch a lot of them. Was it a SpaceX or was it a NASA one?
I think it was NASA. You can, yeah, I'll send you the video.
The thing is, and here's the frustrating thing with NASA, I'm a big fan of rockets. I'm a big fan of anything that's got that much power in it that can just. I mean, I hated fireworks as a kid though, but for something that has got that much power behind it, and to put a few little midgets on the end of it and send them into space, it's insane. But my problem is when you look at some of the stuff why have they not given us more? You know, why have they not put like a HD? I'll even take 1080. I'll even take 720p, like camera on the moon, or just looking back at Earth or anything. Just like there's not they don't show us enough. Look at the new NASA rover with the helicopter that just faces down all the way. Mm-hmm. There's not enough. When to consider that we're going to boldly go where no man's gone before, and we're sending people into space. I'd expect more. I had this argument with my dad, and me and my dad, we have a few drinks, and we always get talking. My wife told me off the last time we went to my mum and dad's. We got talking about NASA, me and my dad, and my wife's face is like this, going, "Oh no, not again." My dad he absolutely loves everything to do with the moon mission. I bought him the he's got a 4K TV. I bought him the 4K moon mission video, and I'm watching it with him. I'm saying, it's really good, this, Dad, and it's really good quality. And he's like, yeah. I says, so, but how come they never? How come Buzz never kind of? I know that there's a camera on the leg of the lunar module when they're going down it, and it's filming Neil. But how come? Because they had a big camcorder inside. For that moment that Neil's going down there, how come Buzz didn't decide to, smile, Neil? This is, film him doing that. That's a big moment. It's a big moment in history. How come we never saw that? Because there is great footage of the first moon mission, but there's no great footage of Neil going down that ladder. And surely that is the most. Surely NASA would have said, "Listen, Buzz, make sure you've got you've got a steady hand, and you're going to deliver us some amazing footage of Neil going down that ladder." You know,
I think I know why.
Please
Because
tell
that
me.
Hasselblad camera was in the middle of the suit.
Okay.
So he would have had to have thrown his body halfway out that window and bend over in a suit like that. I don't see how he could have done it.
Well, they had the camera free.
No, it was. I thought it was
no,
connected to their suit.
But when they go in there, you know, because you can see them looking out the window and they're spinning it around the camera.
Oh, okay. I don't remember. Yeah.
I mean, maybe it's something to do with the atmosphere. I don't know, pressure or something. Maybe it destroyed the camera. I doubt it. I just find it a little bit.
That is odd.
It's. I've always asked myself that question from before I even had this channel. And for anybody, I'm not a moon. I think we went to the moon, but I just find it odd that they never.
Really odd.
The most important thing that happened, other than the wheel, was not recorded properly. It was with some grainy footage.
Well, did you know Neil Armstrong practiced when he first got out of the thing? He wanted to see how long that last step was from the last step to the ground. And then he went back up and then went down. And what we actually hear is not actually what he said. It's one small step for man, it's one small step for a man, one giant leap for mankind. Because it was not as big as a step that he thought it was, you know. That I just saw it on a documentary. It's that they were cleaning up the sound to the recording, and he says it's one small step for a man, and he was actually just talking about what he did, because it's one small step that he just took. Yeah, it's just weird how they changed it to make it sound that way.
So that was my defense for the flat Earth nutters, because
that's amazing. Yeah,
because I still don't think to this day they show enough. I think Branson going into space and Bezos, I don't think they showed enough.
They really didn't go into I mean, technically they were still in Earth's atmosphere.
Yeah, I guess they were.
They're not astronauts.
They're
not
a bit
even
more
close.
a little bit more than I am.
Well, according to Neil deGrasse Tyson, nobody's an astronaut, because everybody's always stayed even if you go into the moon, you're still in Earth's atmosphere to an extent.
And he's talking out of his ass.
Well, that's why he's Neil deGrasse Tyson.
He's an odd man that popped up from nowhere.
I know.
I'd prefer to get myself from science from Mike deGrasse Tyson as him.
I love Mike Tyson.
Mike Tyson. Yeah, we went to the moon there. We went there fairly. It was fantastic. I swear to God, I saw Vandy Deer up there. It was awfully boring. It was an intense ride, and I got all fucked up. I was on medication.
That's bloody brilliant, that Rich.
I never did Mike Tyson. When am I ever going to bring Mike Tyson up in ufology?
Exactly.
It
Now.
was a knockout. It was fantastic. I was implausible.
No, do you know what I'm saying though, Rich? There is not. If you're a big company like NASA, SpaceX, or whatever, whoever you are, give us a little bit more. We always see these weird little camera angles of the rocket firing and this. We don't see. There's nothing. Put a fucking camera on the front of the rocket. I want to see it go through the atmosphere. You know?
I know.
Give me something exciting, for crying out loud. You know,
You're asking way too much.
Get GoPro to sponsor it or whatever. I don't care what you do. Just give me something
GoPro.
that's going to shut them up.
Well, they're doing it now, aren't they? They're going through the atmosphere. They got the camera. You can see it in different stages, right? I mean, they're going. No,
It's not enough. It's not enough to
What do you
shut them
want,
up.
man? They're showing it.
I want the flat earthers to shut their mouth. I want them to stop it. I want them to be proved wrong, and I'm right, and there's little green men, and there's space, and I'm not just floating about on a little chuffing giant turtle.
Have you seen the dogleg cam? The I think it's the highest and independent rocket's been sent into space.
No,
Oh, no.
wait, what?
Let me talk amongst yourselves. I'll send you the link, Ollie.
All right.
You know I can't work this shit.
Is
This
this the
guy
one
needs to
that
get
is
a
this
right
one?
hook.
Is this the one that hits what they call?
Yeah.
Yes, I've seen it.
Have you? What do you think of that?
I think it just
I think
spun out. I don't know.
I
Why
think
would
it's
it make
more than-
that? If it hit a big glass fucking dome, I don't think there'd be anything left of it.
No,
what's
but is it worth playing? Do you think it's worth playing?
Oh,
It's
you're talking
there.
about the rocket that hit the firmament?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll play.
Yeah, I'd love to see that again. I love that.
Yeah, let's get that on YouTube. We are not flat earthers. Do not demonetize me, and do not put one of them Wikipedia fucking links below explaining what flat Earth is. We love you, YouTube. And we love
What
you-
is
we-
Rich Northwood saying? Anyone want to talk about Lou Elizondo saying that they may only need one sensor placed to collect more evidence of UAP? What does that mean? One sensor of what?
I have not
placed
heard
where?
about this.
Yeah, I haven't either. Unless it was in an interview just recently. By the way, Anjali is going to be on Alien Girl 111. Did you know that? I know.
Good for her.
She just got the interview, I think, yesterday set up. I don't recall when.
Fantastic.
I'm not
Girl.
sure. I think it's Sunday.
I think that's a bit of girl power, that, Rich.
Of course it is, because I've sent her messages to get back to me, and she didn't. She didn't.
She's took one look at your channel and thought, not a cat in hell's chance. He will destroy my arsehole.
Well, she also probably. I would. She was a pretty attractive woman.
No, I don't mean like that. I don't mean.
Well, that's
just
what I
mean-
mean.
I just mean you might rip her a new one. Yeah, I think she's probably. She thinks, what's he going to ask me?
She.
I
Is
think
going
you'd be. I think you'd be very polite and very. I think you'd be professional.
I would be 110%. I'd be better than Jimmy. Sunday, the 5th, at 9:00 at night. So I will not be doing my show at that time.
Oh, I cannot wait to watch that.
Oh, that's right. Saturday and Sunday I do UK shows.
Alien Girl 111. I don't know if she's here, but if you are, well done.
She is here. That's why I brought it up. And
That's
tell her, Alien Girl, make the thumbnail work. It's not working for your Anjali episode. Just want to let her know.
You know what? It's fucking crazy. I mean,
Yeah, how come Lee's face is strobing?
Oh, it's the
Psychedelics.
no, it's
I didn't take them.
My monitor is a massive plasma telly, so it's just the frame rate of that telly, like reflecting, like not being right with the camera.
Oh, I hear you.
Right. This is what what fucking annoys me about this sort of stuff, and why I think it's a bit weird. It's so hard to find stuff like that, like if you're relating it to like flat Earth stuff. It's so censored. It's unbelievable, and that's not me saying it's real. I'm just saying to find the stuff that is used as proofs without getting such and such debunked is fucking hard.
That's what I'm saying. But here's the thing, and this is the other conversation that I had with my dad. I just need to bring my dad in the room. Why should they? Why should Elon Musk? Why should NASA? Why should any of these big corporations prove anything to us? Why should they? It's all expense to them. If they are just operating on science and science alone, okay, why should they put that great camera angle that shows us? Why should they? What interest if we believe them or not? But I'll tell you something: they get a hell of a lot more funding. A hell of a lot more.
Yeah.
Well, you've got to make it sexy, and the thing is, in this day and age, whatever can be filmed in HD is filmed in HD. It's a strange thing. I've sent you that link, Holly. But that goes to show the issues I just had there, because I was searching for it on YouTube. Then I searched for it on Google, and I couldn't find it. And then I searched on DuckDuckGo, and it was one of the first things to come up.
Wow. That DuckDuckGo works well, doesn't it?
Does it? Does if you're actually searching for a thing and you can put the name in for it, it works well if it's one of the things that Google don't want you to search for.
Hey, Ollie. After you play this, I gotta get going.
I've got the Wikipedia message here.
Did I take the Wikipedia thing link?
No. I'm saying they're giving me that, the usual Wikipedia. Anything.
Oh, they fact checked it.
Love that feature. Well done, YouTube. It's a great feature. Can't think for us because we can't think for ourselves. I love you, YouTube. Okay. Right, here we go. One moment, people. I don't think people are going to be interested, but it is. It's a good.
I think it's cool.
Good. It's cool. It is a good. It's a good video. I enjoy this.
And I find it weird. And
Is it brought? Has it come up?
Yeah.
You see the Wikipedia.
I mean, realistically, you can pop it in halfway through the video, can't you? Because we only really want the end bit. But yeah, might as well go.
2, 1.
Absolute timing, Ollie. That was ace.
Look how fast it's spinning. Don't you think it was just the it was hitting a thunderstorm?
I don't know.
I'm joking.
No, sorry, no. But even like the idea of it, like hitting a point where the atmosphere got so thin, I don't know. It just
stops.
Yeah, and it makes a thunk noise.
Yeah,
yeah.
Look, weird stuff has fallen out of the sky too, many times.
James Corden, he wasn't born naturally.
What?
I have an issue with James Corden.
The TV guy?
Yeah, I'm glad you didn't think of me. That's so odd.
Look how it just stopped. But why didn't it crash? Why didn't it break up? It would have broken up.
Don't know. I'll tell you what, if I was...
Maybe it's mushy.
If I was a flat earther and I was a Christian flat earther, I'd probably be saying something about waters above and waters below.
Yeah. What if space is water? And that's why it looks the way it does.
It would make sense why they train for the ISS in water in big fish tanks.
I think we need to be tread careful here. YouTube's been liking my channel recently, ish. So that if it was to hit something, so say for example a big round dome that protects the Earth from whatever's going to come in, surely it just annihilate it. That rocket, if it hits a big piece of.
No, because that dome has been there, and it self-heals itself. It fixes itself, I bet. Or it's just like plasma, like it mushes into it, kind of like Jell-O.
Yeah, but that made a ting noise.
I know, but was it... I don't know, man. I really have no answer for it. It's weird. It really is.
It is odd. It is odd, but how come that's the only one we see? Surely the other people could do that. Got a bit of money behind them.
Better than Corbell's footage.
No, it's great footage. Don't get me wrong, that is great footage.
But Ollie, I gotta get going, man.
No worries, mate. Have you got a show going tonight?
Yeah, in 2 hours. But I have to edit something for another hour, and I gotta get the show ready and eat.
We was only going to go till 12-ish anyway, because Lee's working early in the morning anyway, so Lee's going to have to go.
Yeah.
So So it's been emotional. So we started out with We're All Made of Stars, and we've ended on the Earth is definitely not flat, and somebody and that they collided with a satellite. I've got it. It was 1 in a million.
Oh wow! No, then it would have been in pieces, man. That thing's not made out of.
But it clunked. Something clunked, Rich.
I know, but it also stopped spinning. So why didn't it topple over or go out of control? And it didn't.
What if they made it stop spinning?
That fast? It was almost instantaneous.
But surely if it hits something, I know you got to go, but surely if it hits at that speed, it's gonna fucking spin.
Hell yeah! Well, it's gonna disintegrate into pieces.
Yeah.
That thing's flying. I mean, it's a rocket, man. Even if it ran out of fuel, it would still be going at that speed, pretty much for a minute. It's a great video. It doesn't make sense.
There's something called a de-spin mechanism I'm looking at here that they put on these things. Which,
yeah, but it doesn't stop that fast. That was instant.
Yeah, that's what I think as well.
I thought of that, but there's no way, man.
Yeah, that's...
Unless a UFO grabbed it. It just grabbed it and said, nope.
Well,
is there...
that technology could stop it in mid-flow.
Totally. With its tractor beam?
But would it make a clunk noise?
That's what it sounded like. It was in water.
But if that camera is even the slightest, if it stops, even if that camera's like wedged in really tightly with a sort of mechanism that keeps it in place, and it stops that fast, maybe the camera would have jolted a tiny bit to make that little clunk. You ever used a GoPro and tried to listen back to the audio without using a separate mic? It's absolutely terrible.
Yeah. You hear everything.
You hear everything.
The fingers on it and all that stuff, yeah.
You could scratch your bum and you hold the camera here and you probably hear yourself scratching your bum. But yeah, we don't think the Earth is flat, people.
No,
but we do like to ask that question. Lead us, leave a little bit on the flat side.
No, he's not.
No,
he just likes to smell it now and again.
I do too, though. It's fun.
Yeah, just like to have a taste. You know, you never want to get addicted, but just rub a little bit of it in the gums now and again.
Just rub it in.
Yeah, just on a Saturday now and again.
Do you think flat earthers ever been bought a flat earth birthday cake?
Absolutely, and if I don't get one before I die, I'll be very upset.
I always wanted one of those tables. You know, like the coffee table made of the flat earth.
Yeah,
that would have been. That
I would
like
that.
Yeah, and it spins, you know, at the time of day and everything. That'd be so cool.
Well, Rich, I've got most of your subscribers are here, but if you're not subscribed to GUFON Radio, it is in the to just GUFON. It's not GUFON Radio. Can't seem to get that out of my head, Rich.
I don't know why. It's been over a year.
I know it's been over a year, but
15 months.
It just stays with me.
It did with me too for a long time.
It's just got that ring to it, GUFON Radio.
That's why I named it. It sounded cool, man. GUFON Radio Stream. The GRS. Maybe I'll go back to that.
No, I don't think YouTube likes when you change it too many times.
No, I'm not going to change it anymore. But yep, I'll be on in about 2 hours. It's going to be a good one tonight.
What's it about? Have you got Brian Forskin on? Fawcett?
I have. He's on next Wednesday. On the 8th.
That caught me off guard. Oh.
Poor guy. He's got the biggest chin I've ever seen in my life.
Chin. Wow.
I want you to tell him. Welcome to the show, Brian. Can I just add? What's the maintenance? What's the upkeep on that chin?
Man, do you and Jay Leno have meetings?
I think you should start the show in your Mike Tyson voice, explaining exactly how you would go about fighting someone with a chin like that.
If I had somebody with a chin like that, I would have given the uppercut. I went right to his midsection, and then I would have danced around. I would have toe foot, and I wouldn't jab him right like that. I would have been fearful of that chin though. If I would have seen that chin in there, I would have been like, oh God, I'm gonna have to die in here for this guy.
Oh, Rich, I've got a new.
It's fantastic, Ollie. It's
That's
fantastic.
got to be a new character on GUFON.
Oh,
Mike
God.
Tyson, Mike Tyson of ufology. Mike Tyson has just got into ufology.
He did.
Look. Is this true?
I've been talking to him. He'll be on tonight. I wasn't going to say anything, but he'll make an appearance tonight on GUFON. I'm sure of it.
Cannot wait.
It's going to be fantastic.
Thank you for thanks for joining us, Rich, and
Thank you.
thank you for putting up with just a show of nonsense that we had.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's always fun to have a bit of nonsense. And thank you to Gavin for the
last
the
minute super
chat.
chat.
Look at that, smell it.
I wish my name was Gavin. Such a
Gavin.
cool name.
It's not in the UK. It's not.
It is if you call him Gav.
Is it?
Why? What's bad about Gavin in the
Just
UK?
just a bit dull, isn't it?
Pardon?
No,
just a
you
bit
don't.
dull.
You're an Isle of Man.
It's like a Nigel, isn't it? You wouldn't want to be a Nigel.
I've got an uncle Nigel.
Nigel's
my
a cool
fault.
name too.
No,
Yeah,
Nigel.
Nigel Benn. That's another good
well,
boxer.
yeah, he was good in his day. It's fine.
There's Alien Girl. We were mentioning your interview this Sunday with Anjali.
Thank you,
Girl
Gavin,
power.
mate. And it's a good name.
Uber
Okay,
Bobby. Gavin
just-
is like Kevin. Absolutely.
Alien
Is he?
Girl, go subscribe. She's going to be interviewing Jolly. Is that? I can't wait to see that. Cannot wait. Go subscribe. So, Rich, what your show's on in 2 hours, and what's the main theme of the show?
I hope on that Alien Girl those two girls kiss. That's what I want to see. I want to see. Well, that's what Mike Tyson would say.
Mike Tyson.
If they don't kiss, I'm only watching if they're going to kiss each other.
Mike Tyson female relationships is shaky.
Right? He said, I don't care. I like to fornicate women. That's what I do.
That's
I mean,
great. That's great. But just ask, Mike. You need to ask people.
All they did was look at me, and I knew there was a connection already. So
No, but
I
you
just.
can't. You can't just say surprise. It's not how it works.
But I'm Mike Tyson. I can't do it anymore. I kind of lose my feel for it after a minute. All right.
Before you go,
Yeah.
how would Mike Tyson, if you asked him if the world, Mike, do you think the world is it flat?
Oh, God, the world isn't flat. Come on. I'm not that stupid and gullible. You'd have to be one stupid motherfucker to believe the world's flat. They've got GPS and all that stuff. You can't fuck around with satellites, man. It's real. I don't know what it sounds like, but it sounds funny to me.
Well, I like it.
It's
great
close,
impression.
man. Some days it's spot on. All right, tonight I'll be on. What am I talking about? Does anybody know? Oh yeah. Let's see. What am I doing? I don't know. I really don't know. I'm talking about the threat that doesn't always come from aliens. You'll see. I just can't explain it. Well, there was a warning set to me. I'm going to be talking about the threats I've been getting for months and haven't told anybody. So
Actual physical threats against Giordano.
yeah.
Don't do that, people. That's horrible.
Yeah. And I'm not taking it lightly. And also Sean Cahill, you know who that guy is. He wrote an article addressing the UFO
I have no
community.
idea who that is.
Um,
The name
well-
doesn't even ring a bell, if I'm honest.
he is, I think he was like chief petty officer for U.S. Navy. He was
Okay.
part of that. He was the radar guy that I think saw what Kevin Day saw.
He's been sending you death threats.
No, I said
Oh.
he came out with a
God
a
forbid.
message to ufology, an open letter to the UFO community,
Right.
and it's what he talks about.
And you'll be
And-
talking about that.
You did already?
No, I said, are you going to be? No, because I didn't even know I didn't even
Oh.
realize what his name was. Are
Yeah,
you going to
yeah.
be talking about that, Rich? Right. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think he was that guy, but he was in the Navy, and I can't remember exactly what he's done, but yeah. But I'll be talking about his letter to ufology, and it's kind of everything I've been saying for 15 years. Now he's saying it's, oh, let's pay attention. All right.
Look forward to it, Rich. Well, thank you for joining us.
All right,
I will-
guys.
I will
Cheers, buddy.
see you soon.
It was
Good
a
night,
pleasure, as always, gentlemen.
Yes. Good
It
night.
was
Goodbye.
fantastic. I swear to God, with like an uppercut to the rectum. I'll see you guys next time.
See you next time.
Thanks,
buddy.
Ollie. Thanks, Lee.
Bye-bye.
Take
Bye-bye.
care, man.
And Lee,
And then there were two.
you've got to get to bed.
You got to get to bed. You don't get this pretty without sleep.
What an odd show. I started out with just a title, and then a manipulated Moby CD cover.
It's tremendous. It's. I mean, that's high art. That
Thank you, mate.
high art.
I needed to put a bit of shadow on the side of my face. I just didn't think.
Did you stretch your face a little bit?
No, it was just the iPhone that did that.
You look.
I
It looks
think-
very long.
I don't know do you think my head looks better rounded or more?
No, it's fine.
Long.
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with your head.
I
I'm
think
just
it's
saying.
the beard because it might. If you took,
I think you
all-
give good head.
Thank you. If you took all this hair away, it's just the head's actually not that big.
Mm.
You know,
Are you a man that lacks a bit of chin?
no, I've got a good.
No.
I've got a good. I've got a. It's just a round. I've got a very round head.
Okay.
If you shave my,
I've got a really round head. My head's like a fucking ball.
It is. Yeah.
But all that brain
Is
that
it?
is underused.
Have you ever shaved the whole thing?
Yes, I look like a pineapple.
How could you look like a pineapple if you shaved it? Surely you'd need like some sort of spout.
No, like the shape. It's fucking horrible. I look like a fucking grey.
That could be it. That well, if you look like a grey, you need to
Maybe
do
I'm a
it.
star child.
I need to interview one of those. If there's any still about, if there's any star childs, here's my email. You send me. I had a really interesting email of somebody the other day that wants to come on, that wants to remain anonymous. He told me a great story. So I emailed him back and said, this can be arranged. And nothing afterwards. I think he just wanted to tell his story, which is fine. But, if the email's there, if I have spelt it right, because somebody did point out that my email's been spelt wrong for the past 6 months since I started doing it. But
Maybe maybe we could read the story on the next episode we do together.
Well,
Obviously, name not included.
I'm hoping he'll get back in touch because I want to get that interview. This is the main point, other than talking to you crazy fuckers in these whatever they are. See, I don't know what it is. I don't even know what it's called. It's just nonsense talking.
We're searching
complete
for the truth.
truth seekers.
Yeah.
Talking nonsense.
Think of us as supercomputers, and when we talk nonsense, we're essentially crunching data.
So I want to get people's experiences. I want more of those. Sometimes I get people that email me that I say, glad you're a fan of the show, but I can't really get you on to talk about that, because you can just tell that somebody is either pulling the wool over your eyes,
Or going to get your channel shut down.
or are just going to bore you to tears for 2 hours because they said they saw a UFO in the sky, and that's all they want to talk about, that one situation.
Oh yeah.
Everybody's seen lights in the sky. Let's face it. You've seen it. I've seen it.
Yeah.
I think
I took photographs of one Looks like a squiggly line in the sky that's a bit coloured.
You sent me that.
Mm-hmm.
It did look like a squiggly line in the sky, but that's what happens when you take a picture of a moving object on your phone.
Yeah. I do find the fact that it was coloured as well odd. There's bits of colour in there. Yeah, it is what it is. It was probably swamp gas.
What's the plan? Is there a new video coming out from Musky Audio?
I have no idea because as far as reaction videos go, the horrible comments that came on one of the videos we've done has made my co-host not want to do them anymore. So thanks for that, you bunch of shithousers. So I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll see. There'll be stuff.
I just couldn't be asked, I don't get it. I don't get if you're a subscriber or if you're watching a video, if I watch a video and
it upsets some people. It upsets some people. Negative comments give me strength. It just makes me want to do it more, to irritate people more and more.
I like to reply to the twats.
Not even reply to them. If I think something is going to wind somebody up, I fucking do it. But I enjoy winding people up. It's really good fun. But some people get upset by things.
No, I get that. I just don't understand the
mentality in doing it. No, I don't.
If I watch a YouTube video, sometimes I might watch one and go, "Well, that was a load of shit." But I wouldn't put that, and I wouldn't even take the time. I wouldn't thumb the video down.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't think I've ever thumbed a video down. That's a hint, people. Turn that frown upside down. No, turn it the other way. Yeah. If you've left a dislike, there's two dislikes. Dirty bastards. Get rid of them now. I don't get it. I couldn't be asked. I couldn't be asked to leave a negative comment unless it was just the most horrendous video that is possibly going to do somebody a lot of damage.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't be bothered. It's a strange world when people need to, put their 2 pence into what, especially if somebody's watched a video this long. I had somebody that left a message saying, "Do you think I've got 3 hours to spare?"
Yeah, sorry, mate. This isn't for fucking you. It's TikTok is clearly for you. This is not your show. That's what gets me. It's like some things for some people, some things aren't for other people. If you don't like something, it's not for you. It's for somebody else.
Or if you've made it this far into the video and then you're going to thumb the video down, leave a nasty comment, why are you even wasting your time watching it in the first place?
Do you know what? I admire the dedication for that one. If you want to boil piss that much, you're going to watch a whole show and then you're going to thumb it down. Fucking blaze on, you crazy diamond. Fucking fair play.
That's a Pink Floyd song, and it's Shine on Your Crazy Diamond.
Yeah, it is.
I love that song.
I don't like Pink Floyd.
Oh God, I do. This is where me and you part ways, my friend. Anyway, we are parting ways because you got work in the morning.
Let's do it.
But yes. So is it you don't know what's going to happen with Musky Audio?
There's more. I'm going to put. I put the shows up that we do on my podcast. If anybody wants to come, I probably should say this at the beginning of the show. If anybody doesn't watch the whole thing, you can listen to it in audio form,
which is great in the car because it's Spotify or what is it? Spotify, it's Google,
everything. Musky Audio is on everything. Amazon, Alexa. You can ask Alexa for it if you want. But I put them up a week late. I think that's the best way to do it. Is so that will be going up this weekend, and then this one will be going up next weekend, and then I've got my friend Rianne coming in, who's a news writer over here, and we're going to have a little chat on Sunday. I have a few drinkies, and we get on really well, and we always have quite a funny but socially prominent, poignant chats. So that's where I am with podcasts at the minute. If you like Formula One, I do a weekly Formula One show called The Hot Lap. That's on its own. That's not on Musky Audio. You just need to look for The Hot Lap on everything. And yeah, I do a weekly solo Formula One show.
And you've been snapped up by sponsor for that, haven't you?
Yeah, that's I'm on a sports network in the UK called what's my network called? Sports Social. Yeah, and they do all sorts of other stuff. I believe I'm the only motorsports one, although I think I'm the only car motor racing show on it. I think there might be a couple of like bike ones, but yeah, it is. They're good to me. They're nice.
Awesome,
like them.
awesome. Well,
I've also got absolutely kicking music for my Formula One podcast. It fucks. It's ace.
have you made it?
No, I bought it.
But you are a musician.
I am a musician, so that's why I knew it was good music.
There you go.
Let's go.
Guys, thank you everybody in the chat that's been watching this live. If you're not watching this live and you've stayed through this nonsense for 2 hours and 25 minutes, then I thank you very much. Sometimes the shows will be structured and we'll have a subject in mind. Tonight I knew that it would go all over the place. I think after the last show that we did, Osvaldo Franco's messaging me. He's probably seen your thumbnail, Lee. Your thing. I think Lee's just having a little bit of a. It's just Lee, isn't it? I told him. I said he's an arsehole. I said you're gonna have to get rid of that. He just kept it up.
That's exactly what you said. It's 100%. That's exactly what you did. That was your reaction.
But yeah, I think after the last show with the debates that we were having, we needed to have a little bit of a lighter show. I would like to get at some point you and Oz in the same room again.
I'd go on a show with Oz again, obviously. I'd go on a show with anybody.
Good. He's now ringing me on Skype. Right. I'm going to have to go, people. Speak to Osvaldo Franco. Good night. God bless. Mind the bugs don't bite. Thank you to everybody who's been in the super chats and just the chatters in general. The people who put the thumbs up. The people who've hit the bell end in the corner, the little bell. That's the one that's the most important one. Hit that bell and God bless you all. Good night, God bless. Mind the bugs don't bite. I'm Alien.
Bye-bye.
What's the audio? Bosh.